think we're recording. Alright, hi. So, my name's Josh, and I promised you guys at some point a look at the Starduster photographing near space high altitude photography project, and I thought I'd do a little behind the scenes, kind of show you exactly what was going on. So, just the star of the show, this is the actual payload container that flew to near space, about 104,000 feet above sea level. You can see that it actually had a forward-facing camera and a down-facing camera. This is just a styrofoam container that I built from scratch. It's a more elegant beer cooler. I needed something that would hold two cameras and a GPS tracking device, and I wanted something that I could get inside and sort of carve out a space for the cameras a little cleaner, a little more elegant than what I could do in like a big styrofoam container. So I created this one from scratch. These are some of my test articles. These are some of my test pieces where I actually took, and you can see where I was sort of carving out an area where the cameras would seat inside of that wall a lot cleaner. The way I did it was actually using what's called a hot knife. It's sort of like a really, really hot ice pick that can just carve through the styrofoam. And this is, again, sort of an example. I don't know if you can see. It's sort of an example of how the cameras would fit into the wall much, much cleaner. I was looking for a more elegant solution, very flush edge. So, yeah, that's the styrofoam container that actually went. You can see where it hit the ground. It actually hit the ground at about 3,500 feet per minute, which is actually not very slow. That's probably more like 20 miles an hour. I bet you could throw this container at the wall harder than it hit the ground. Inside of the container were two cameras. I was shooting 60 frames per second. 60 frames per second of full HD video. On board there was also a handheld GPS device that was sending the payload's location back to me about every 5 minutes. I got an update on where the payload was. And we were tracking it with a combination of my phone and a handheld GPS device to get the location. So for those of you that are wondering about Reentry, this is going up on a balloon. It's not actually reaching orbital speeds. There's really no such thing as Reentry. It just goes up, the balloon bursts, and then the whole thing comes back down. It comes back down under a 1 meter or a 3 foot wide parachute. This is not really designed to bring it down like a super gentle parachute landing. It's really designed more to keep everything oriented the right direction and use it more like a drogue chute. We recovered about 98% of the balloon by weight. This is all of the balloon that was left. That's about 3.5 pounds of latex. And you can see that the balloon just shredded itself. It starts at about 6 foot diameter at launch. There's enough helium to fill the balloon to 6 feet wide. And then as it climbs, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And eventually, once it gets 28 feet wide, it fails or it pops. And that's how the whole payload comes back down. So that's just sort of an inside glimpse on the Starduster project. Again, balloon, parachute, payload container, two cameras, GPS device. And hopefully a lot of really cool footage for you guys to use for your projects. So thanks for your time. Bye.